It is Halloween weekend. That's right. It is one of my favorite holidays of all time. And this is the special holiday episode of Let's Get To. We're in Bowling Green, home of the Hot Rods, for their Halloween night. And, I mean, what better way to celebrate one of the best holidays than not just the crack of the bat, but with the crack of the vampire bat. That's right. Halloween is here. And we're also ready to answer one of the world's most unanswerable questions.
Hi! If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I know I would. I'd smother myself in relish. It'd be delicious.
Stay with us.
They did the Monster Man.
Welcome to Let's Get To, the baseball show from the fans' perspective.
And that's right. Welcome to Let's Get To. I'm your host, James Christopher, and welcome to our very special Halloween episode. Think of this like It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, except it's more like It's the Great Baseball, James Christopher, and all my Let's Get To staff, friends, and fans. We have a great episode for you today. We're going to be out at the Bowling Green Hot Rods checking out their early Halloween event, and we have a special news segment for you. But before we get to that, I have a big announcement to make. As you maybe know, if you've been paying attention to the show, either watching or listening, that I've actually been taking the tour of minor league baseball parks, throwing out the first pitch. And I've done it about 5 or 6, and it's been a complete honor every time. I'm humbled that I got a chance to do it. It's a bucket list item for sure. But then it got me thinking, what if I just sort of became a professional pitcher? I feel like I'm more than qualified. I probably can go as long as your average starter in 2021 baseball. So why not give it a shot? But then I started to think about it. If I'm going to do that, I need to have like a go-to pitch. I need to have something that's going to help me dominate opposing hitters. The kind of pitch that they're going to see when they close their eyes and go to sleep. The kind of thing that's going to haunt them. So this is what I came up with. Talk about a split finger.
From the bleachers, the Let's Get To Game of the Week.
So we're coming to you from the bleachers, and it is Halloween night at the Bowling Green Hot Rods. Special night for us. We cannot wait to show you so much about what's happening. But the other kind of cool thing that's happening is for the first time, the other two brain children, I guess you'd call them, behind Let's Get To are going to be on the same show together. We've used all of our Halloween magic. Now first, no stranger to the program, Scott McIntyre. Scott, welcome.
Hey,
how'd you get here?
I just popped in.
Magic. And now he's going to make some joke about being finally promoted from the MLB show to the minor league show, because that's his thing. It's ironic, I guess. Andy Tom Chesson.
There's no joke to be made, Jim.
We're all together.
I'm excited about it, and I'm glad that the police have not realized that we're all in the same state together and that we all crossed different state lines to get here.
Exactly.
I'm Goose Pimply.
Goose Pimply.
In places I'd rather not talk about.
And look, we've been to a lot of ballparks. Both of us have been to a lot of ballparks together. Could we have found a better one to be at, Andy, for our first time together? What do you thought so far?
No, this is a class act here in Bowling Green. The Hot Rods have put on just a fantastic piece of entertainment, a place for families to come to enjoy baseball, to enjoy their community, to celebrate Halloween.
Not only do you do that, but if you hold your hand out like this,
drinks will
magically appear. Thanks to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, why don't you come hop in behind us and say hi to everybody? Say hi to all the people.
Hey, brother!
But you did it in character too. Yeah,
I'll drink to that.
Scott, overall impression.
It's a great. I was talking earlier to Andy about this. It's a great combination of ballpark where you have an old school feel. I was actually talking to the broadcaster,
Shawn,
and was telling him, you look at the signage around the stadium, you look at the brick facades, you look at everything. It has a really old feel to it, like it's been here forever, but at the same time, it feels so new. It feels so fresh, so clean. It's just a really good ballpark all the way around. I love the field. It's great for a hitter. It's great for a pitcher. It's great for a fan. What more can you ask for?
And I thought, for how old it was, it doesn't feel old. It reminded me of when we were. God, what ballpark was it where I found that it was 20 years old and was shocked? But it doesn't feel like it's an old ballpark.
The Dell Diamond? No. I think the thing I like the best from the whole experience is the community around the park. Park's fantastic, but it looks like it's part of the neighborhood that it's in.
Yeah.
You've got a farmer's market out over right field that was populated this morning. They were having a fundraiser this morning as we drove by and looked around a little bit. You've got restaurants. You've got an active nightlife. It's a good place to be and an easy place to be. It's super comfortable. I think the other thing, looking at the field, it's a gorgeous field.
A gorgeous field. Nice to see fresh grass. It's gorgeous. Let's talk. We are here for the Halloween night thing.
Spooky.
The one thing that we all commented on was everyone in the organization. The GM's dressed as a large banana. Everyone's bought in, and that makes the experience so much better.
Yeah, and he's making very appealing jokes as well. I think the staff, the community, there's kids dressed up. Sometimes people buy in to theme night and go all in, but most of the time it's not this strong. There's a lot of people in costume. We saw a guy that's dressed up as a zombie in a Hot Rods uniform with a ball stuck to the side of his face. It looks like it's been indented. I mean, this is a fantastic participation event.
I will warn, though, however, a GM wearing a banana costume is a really slippery slope, so we've got to be careful.
I would agree with that.
Scott relishes the fact of not being in his. I stole your relish joke from the cold open. It's fine. But
it's okay. There's no, like the banana, there's no strings attached to the gig that he's got.
I agree, Jim. Just put a little mustard on it, throw it in there.
Throw it in there.
I think so. We should catch up with the folks about everything else we'll be covering tonight.
Yeah, so we do have a full episode. We've already hit the pro shop up. We're going to be doing a Holler and a Swaller. We have been engaged in the Bowling Green and surrounding community. Again, I just can't think of this is how it should be done, and this I think is Jersey Shore Blue Crabs as well, Blue Claws, excuse me. These are the templates for how you can do it, and I want to go back to the theme night again real quick because I can't tell you the number of times it's been superhero night, and the only people dressed up have been the fans. You have to. You're doing these nights for a reason. You have to lead from the front on that, and that's how you grow a tradition.
Oh, it's all in here, too. I mean, from the Hulkster who's serving us drinks, I never thought that would happen.
Never.
But I love it. The banana that we've seen down there, we've seen other people dressed up as superheroes. Was it Batgirl or someone we saw? Supergirl.
One of the witches from Hocus Pocus.
How does he get Supergirl and Batgirl confused?
Because I'm old. I'm the oldest guy here. Not in the whole stadium, of course, but just on the camera.
When he read comics, it was all Archie.
Hey, don't knock Bazooka Joe. But no, we also saw Benny from The Sandlot down there.
Who I thought was Negan.
He did.
Well, the hat wasn't long enough. I'm not criticizing somebody's costume, obviously, but I mean, if you're going to do Benny, you've got to have a much longer bill on your hat.
Yeah.
Benny the Jet?
No, he was Benny. He wasn't.
He wasn't.
Yeah,
okay.
He wasn't.
He wasn't Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls.
Well, that's a great way to introduce. What if we take some time now to show everybody what we saw at the ballpark?
More magic.
Sounds like a plan.
We headed out east to Kentucky to see our good friends with the Bowling Green Hot Rods and get a little early Halloween action. And of course, I was dressed for the occasion. The Hot Rods had a game today and everyone was hyped up. Walking onto the concourse outside of the ballpark really set the mood. I love all the iterations of the Bowling Green logos, from the main mark to the alternate crossed wrench and bat look, to the logo that's reminiscent of the old 50s Hot Rods. They have as strong a brand as anyone in baseball. The ballpark, what a place to see a game. A perfect surface, lots of places to hang out, see the ball game, and have just a great time with friends and family. Just a great afternoon in Kentucky. As part of the Rays system, they are extremely proud of the players who've made it to the show, and there are more than a few. The pro shop was a myriad of great gear and an old-fashioned baseball card shop inside. Who doesn't miss those old classic card shops where you could just see and dream about some of the expensive baseball cards you could add to your collection?
I'm Dirk Ferguson. It's a funny hat.
The kids have a blast here in Bowling Green, from an epic playground to the splash pad, which is a great place to see all the little hot rods run around, to a full-size carousel to the outfield, and a chance to see how hard you throw. Yes, everyone, Scott throws harder. Everyone has a great seat when you're at the ballpark, not just the cardboard cutouts, but our very own Andy Tom Jaysen. But like I said, it was Halloween night, and this place was ready from top to bottom to have a spooky good time. And if you weren't sure, the inflatable spider out front should have told you. From spooky treats to a haunting reference to a certain cinematic clown of which our crack team of paranormal investigators found no evidence. Even the front office was in the costume spirit. And the ballpark had a little haunted house feel to it. The idea that the Bowling Green staff was so into it made it that much more fun for everyone. Halloween was everywhere and people were literally jumping for joy. We met my favorite slasher of all time, Michael Myers. You can tell I'm a fan. We met Jaysen. We met a certain famous cinematic bride made of a few corpses. We met Chucky. We met Kara Zor-El. And even Roscoe the mascot was enjoying a little peace and love dressed like a certain fan of a certain hippie band. Roscoe the Grease Monkey. I love it. And what minor league baseball theme night isn't complete unless it's got a great jersey auction to win? Scott even spent some time applying for a new gig. It was just a great weekend and a great place to see baseball with great people. I couldn't have been more excited to be there. It was cool to hang out with the voice of the Hot Rods and his workspace. It was exciting just to be at a ballpark with Scott and Andy for the first time together. Definitely will not be our last trip together. And it was a nice way to close out or almost close out our baseball season. And Scott did answer the one question we all wondered. Yes, if he was a hot dog, he would in fact eat himself. So when you're sitting there at home trying to survive the void and you're starting to plan out what your baseball travels will look like in 2022, make sure that the Bowling Green Hot Rods is number one on your list. They definitely revved our engines. You might even say they became
I'm your best friend in the end.
You know, Halloween's great because in Halloween, you can be someone else, totally different than who you are. But if you do it right, a little bit of yourself's going to come through. Hey, folks, Coach Ted Lasso here, and I'm so excited to be on two shows at the same time. Two shows at the same time. That's usually the kind of thing you got to pay ladies of the night a little bit extra for. You know what I'm saying, Coach? Right, family show. Got it. Well, it is the off season for Richmond. Coach, we have an off season. We have an off season. So it's the off season for Richmond. So I'm tickled to death to be here to introduce this very special new segment between Let's Get To, the baseball show, and Screen Jocks, the movie show. And the whole thing is called the Cinema Challenge. Now here's what they did. Now I know what you're thinking. You heard Cinnamon Challenge? No, it ain't the Cinnamon Challenge. I tried that once for my football team back in Kansas, and that was rough, let me tell you. The Cinema Challenge, though, we got 4 people to draft. We got James, we got Daniel, we got Emily, and we got Jaysen. And they had to pick from horror movies that you guys then voted on. Now, here are the rules. Well, there really are no rules. It's got to be a horror or a thriller. The only thing you cannot do is a team can only draft from a franchise once. So if someone, let's say they're drafting Star Wars. Now, they're not drafting Star Wars because even though sometimes those Wookiees scare me, those not really a horror film. But if you draft like Return of the Jedi, which is the best one because it's all about bringing out the good in people, well, you can't draft Empire. Or you can't draft Phantom Menace, not that you want to. Because Phantom Menace is maybe the only thing evil ever put into this world. So that's the rules. One franchise per player. And then they did one of them serpentine drafts to make it even. So now, let's get to the draft. And welcome to the very first Cinema Showdown. This is a co-production of Let's Get To and Screen Jocks. And I've got some fun guests on this one, our Halloween edition. I'm going to begin with one of my favorite people on Twitter, Yankees Twitter. It doesn't even matter what kind of baseball Twitter she's on. You can find her at Miss Still Your Bases. She's also apparently Bronxy's biggest fan. I don't know. Are you a Bronxy fan, Em, or are you kind of like, y'all, it's a turtle, let's maybe hit the baseball?
No, I'm a big Bronxy fan. Sometimes you gotta give into those gimmicky things. Makes you happy.
I will say this: Bronxy greater than the Rally Monkey, because Anaheim keeps that going, and it is obnoxious. Obnoxious. We also have Daniel Baldwin here. Daniel's a good friend of ours and really a fixture on the horror film circuit, writer for Dread Central, probably the go-to guy for just film knowledge, not just horror stuff though. Daniel, you're pretty much into film across the board.
Yeah, I'd say I'm as obsessed with movies as you are about baseball. Let's put it that way.
Ooh, which means I'm almost as obsessed with movies as you are. True. A2. Brute. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize. Yeah, I had my it's the most convenient drinking cup I had. And Jaysen Buterin, filmmaker, our Hall of Fame member, Kill Giggles director. Jaysen, welcome. How you doing?
I'm living the dream, brother. Living the dream. Or I can't wake up from the nightmare. It depends on how well I do in this draft pick.
I think we can all agree. I mean, Jaysen, if you're putting this much stock into this, maybe we gotta get you your own Bronxy or something. I don't know.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. I presume like a spirit animal or like.
Emmy, would you like to explain who Bronxy is?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, he doesn't know sports. Bronxy is a turtle that one of the relief pitchers on the New York Yankees decided to get, and now he is their mascot. And he comes to all their games and their clubhouse with them. And he did the celebration when we clinched the playoffs.
He shits in their clubhouse with them.
Yeah, he just hangs out. They let him run around the clubhouse on the floor. He's really cute.
It's pretty precious, and of course, he's called Bronxy because they're in the Bronx. All right, so we have introduced.
I learned something new today.
See, the draft is working for you, my friend.
I know.
We have introduced our competition, and I feel like the best way to do is to dive in. We have already told the fans, and so the first pick of the draft goes to Emmy. Let's see who you have.
All right. So I'm going to go with the obvious pick, I think, but it's going to take you right out. So, but I feel like you have to pick this as number one pick. Like you'd just be stupid not to pick the original Halloween.
Oh, A2 Brute. Do you realize that I started typing NOES into your section on my Jessica?
I am in it to win it, bro.
Okay, well then I think I am gonna go Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean
1984 or 2000, whatever crap it was.
Oh.
Because of my desire to win this competition, I refuse to answer this question as far as a quality perspective. But yes, the 1984 edition of, although I do have a remake on my big board that might shock you if we get to it. I believe, did Jaysen have the next pick or did Daniel?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, I'll go back to the original draft board. Guys, remember, this is the first time we've done this. Jaysen, you are up with pick number 3.
Okay. And we can pick something else from that series, but not something that's already been picked. Yes,
exactly. Like you can do the remake.
Okay. I'm going to go The Exorcist.
Okay. Mr. Daniel.
I'm going to go for John Carpenter's The Thing.
Nice. Oh, that is such a strong move. Daniel, have you seen the Hudson Howard Hawks version?
Yes. It's really good, but it's more of a the monster's more of like a vegetable Frankenstein monster.
Oh,
if that makes any sense.
Well, no, I'm thinking about checking it out.
It's good. It's good.
Is it weird now? I want to see Hudson Hawk in a version of The Thing.
I would watch that.
Dude, we are 3 minutes in with the Hudson Hawk, and all I want to do is sing the, and you can swim like a fish. Now, Daniel, the way it works, it's a serpentine draft, which means you get to go again.
Well, then I'm going to have to go with 1968's Night of the Living Dead.
Guys, killing it, taking all the big ones.
I'm telling you.
Dang it. All right.
Taking that off. I mean, my big board is already decimated. Just throwing it out there. Although I've got a ringer planned. All right, Jaysen, you're up, buddy.
The original Psycho. Pants down, without a heartbeat. Gotta be Psycho.
Motherfucker. Okay, then I think I'm going to go with the very first Scream.
Nice.
Okay, Emmy, you have the next two.
Next two. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Poltergeist.
Oh, you just became my wife's favorite. That is her all-time, no doubt about it, favorite horror movie. No doubt.
Really?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I just hung out with that kid that played Oliver. There, Ollie, that played the little son in that. I hung out with him a couple of weeks ago, and that kid is crazy. It looks exactly the same, but with a goatee.
Because he's the only one still alive from that movie. You'd be crazy too.
Pretty much him and Craig T. Nelson.
Yeah, and his career is dead. So okay, so Emmy, you get one more, or next one, I guess.
I think I'm gonna go a little into left field here and pick Aliens.
Alien or Aliens?
Aliens.
Got it. Okay, I am gonna this is remember I messaged you, Emmy, and I said I think I'm too in my head because I'm gonna pick a film that I don't consider a horror movie, but it's my favorite movie, and I'm going to pick it anyway, and I'm going to say Jaws.
I knew you were going to do that. It's on my board.
I think for me, it just transcends genre, so I don't know.
I argued with my best friend at the bar the other day. She said that she didn't think Jaws was technically a horror movie, and I think it is. I think you got that one. You're going to get the people with that one.
Daniel, weigh in. Do you think it's a horror film?
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good.
It's an animal attack movie. Those count. If Cujo counts, then Jaws counts.
That's true. All right,
Maybe
Mr. B.
Yeah, that has to count for something.
They see you. You're right there. They can
Hey, what's up? The Dark Lord himself. Would you like to make your dad's next pick?
What's your favorite scary movie?
My favorite scary movie is Santa Claus.
Damn it.
What did he say?
He told me to say Kill Giggles, but I said Santa
He said
Claus.
Kill Giggles.
No, he said Santa Claus.
All right, which one are you going to pick, brother?
Actually, no, for realsies, I'm going to go Phantasm.
Oh, good. Okay, hold on a second. It's helpful if it's actually in the so whenever we do the 14th version of this, I'll have an assistant. That'll be great. Daniel, you have the next two.
All right, I'm going to go with Evil Dead 2.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
And I'm going to go old school and pick the original Wolfman.
Man, I was just I'm actually teaching that movie right now because I think it's so kids today dismiss it. Kids today they dismiss it because of the effects, but it was so well written and so well acted. All right, Jaysen, this is your fourth pick, which means you'll have two more after this.
I'm picking two now. Am I the serpent or the rainbow? I mean, I'm not picking that one. I was just asking.
No, you only have one pick right now.
Okay. So confused. Sleepaway Camp.
Ooh. I already know.
One of the best endings of a horror film ever. You're like, but you don't want to leave your mouth open for too long. Otherwise, I'm going to go in it. So, okay.
The best part is, since you and I both know both Tommy Faircloth and Felissa, who was in the film, you already know you've gotten 2 votes just by having it up there. Smart thinking, son.
That's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to pick a horror film that I know is, God, this is where I'm like, I have higher ranked ones on my board, but sometimes you got to go the best athlete. This is a stupid move. This would have cost me the thing, but I really believe in the film. I'm going to go with The Exorcist Part 3, which I think is a tremendously underrated horror film.
Fantastic.
One of the best jump cuts in horror. I mean, you say jump cut, I flash that scene in the hospital every damn time. It still terrifies me, and I know it's coming. And
scariest part of any movie I've ever seen in my entire life is that one scene.
And I love that they brought it back.
Talking about.
And I don't know. Yeah. And I don't even know if you guys saw the Exorcist series, which I think was drastically underrated.
Yeah.
The first season, especially, but I love that they brought that moment back in the second season, and it still worked for me. And I was looking for it, like, oh, they're in a hospital. This is gonna happen. I will say this about Exorcist 3, though. It's one of the few movies where I definitely liked the theatrical cut. Like the director's cut, I don't think worked as well, which shows you he didn't really know how to make a film.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right, Emmy, you have 2 in a row.
Are those my last 2?
No, we're doing 6 rounds, so you'll have this one, then the beginning of round 5 and the end of round 6.
Okay. Just trying to keep track here because I lost my phone with my technical difficulties. So this crayon is not keeping up as well as.
I've accidentally erased my big board. I don't mind telling everybody that. I was typing your pick in and I didn't realize I was on my big board and erased everything.
Now you're just flying by the seat of your pants.
That's how you get Exorcist 3 with, I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites from childhood, The Sixth Sense.
Ooh. It's interesting. There's okay. I don't want. Never mind. I'm not. I can't commentate on. Okay.
Easily, you'll get.
And I feel like I'm going off the rails here now and picking something that not a lot of people are going to vote for, but it's my all-time favorite horror movie ever, The Devil's Rejects.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Little torture.
I'm going to go with one that I actively hate, but I can't believe it's been picked already. And so
Jim, you can't pick Exorcist 2. You already picked Exorcist 3.
Dude, Exorcist 2 is so bad.
And you can't do like prequel to Dominions, you know?
Yeah, right.
There's like 9 of those, you know?
I actually actively hate this movie and everyone loves it. No, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that to myself.
Do it.
Proud of my list.
Do it.
Nope, I'm not. I'm going to go.
Do it, dog.
We're going to stay in the family. We're going to go with The Omen.
Oh,
okay.
Son of a biscuit.
I love that film so much.
It's all for you, Damien.
Talk about a moment that doesn't, no matter how many times you see it, when she jumps out the thing. And that's another one, the remake I didn't think was terrible, but.
I never saw the remake.
I did not like the remake. I don't even think I finished it.
Did you see the entire series where they went in like Omen 5? Damien gets a day job and he's like in his like mid-50s and he's like, man, I hate my dad.
I did like because didn't Sam Neill played him in a film?
The third one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the third or the fourth one?
When he's not catching dinos.
I lost track.
He's doing that. Jaysen, you're up.
Yes, sir. I gotta go original Alien, please and thank you. Because that shit still terrifies me to this day. It's fucking.
Oh yeah.
It's a John Hurt moment, you
know. Daniel, you have two. You have your last 2 are up now.
Oh boy. For the first one, I'm going to go with the original Suspiria.
Oh man, that's going to get you votes.
And for the last pick, this is hard. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
How has that not been taken yet? I thought it was already gone. Okay.
Because there's a gajillion horror movies.
It's true. I'm still not going to take the one I hate, but because we're coming. Okay. Jaysen, you're up.
Yes, sir. All right. Hagadaga.
Carry the 3.
I don't remember. I know math is hard. Is this my last one?
It is.
Oh, hijo de puta. Okay.
Solo.
Come on, Joe Boo. Come on, Joe Boo. Come on. Joe Boo.
See, you got baseball. Look.
No whammies. No whammies. No whammies. Stop. Night of the Creeps.
Night of the Creeps.
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Kill Giggles just seemed too gratuitous, but you know.
I actually was gonna roll with Kill Giggles just because I knew I would steal. Like, oh, all of Jason's friends would vote for me.
Oh.
Okay. I'm actually going to do this one as a member of a point, because it is the one remake I have on my list that I think is superior to the original film. And I think it was the first incident where we learned that Ryan Reynolds can act. And I'm going to go with the Amityville remake. I think that movie is fantastic. And the act scene. So there we go. All right, Emmy, you get to finish this up.
Stolen. Now that was going to be, I'm from Long Island. You just stole that right from me.
Wait, you're from where?
Long Island.
Long Island. Okay.
Long Island.
You said 2 words. I've always heard it as just the one word before. So I was confused for a moment.
I have one left.
You have one left.
One left. Okay. Ooh. All right. I'm gonna probably hate myself for this.
Say kill giggles.
No. I'm gonna do Trick or Treat.
No,
that was going to be mine if I didn't go Amityville. Okay, so before we wrap it up, here are some of the movies that did not get mentioned at all. No Friday the 13th.
I did Jaysen the whole time.
I know. It was like no Friday the 13th. I was going to go with Christine, but no one's seen that movie but me, so it's fine.
Hey, I love Christine.
Oh, and the score is great. All right, so what's going to happen with the score is great. I guess before we
hate?
Go ahead.
Do we know the movie that you hate that you were going to pick but didn't pick? I'm not a
Friday the 13th guy.
Oh, okay. I'm okay.
I find it offensive.
I got to go.
I'm like I hate it. You know what I hate about it? And this is so Jim. And then I want to get some closing Halloween thoughts before we go. But I hate the fact that there are people who consider Halloween the knockoff of Friday the 13th, even though one chronologically one came first.
You're wrong.
And the producer said we had to rip off Halloween as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Before we go, I thought it'd be kind of fun to, before we wrap up, maybe a favorite Halloween tradition from each of you guys. This is a leading question because I know one of the things that Jaysen does every year. He leaves every single film festival. We're usually Nightmares Film Festival. Shout out to Jaysen Tostovan for running that amazing event. But what is one of the things I know you do every year for Halloween?
I have to watch It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, at least multiple times, but every time before Halloween with my boy, after we visit the pumpkin patch and take pictures, because he still lets me put him in a shirt like Linus and put a blue blanket in his hand and put the Great Pumpkin sign over there in his hand and take pictures of him. He hasn't told me to fuck off yet, like it seriously really meant it. So yeah, the great pumpkin. I've watched it every year. I have the original VHS copy I got as a gift in 1978. 78, like the big puffy case thing, and it's just but yeah, every single year, multiple times a year.
Love it. How about you, Emmy? Because you have kids too. I mean, what do you guys do?
Well, luckily my 4-year-old has become obsessed with Halloween. It's just like me. So
the holiday or the franchise?
The holiday. Haven't introduced the franchise yet, but his favorite, he's obsessed with The Nightmare Before Christmas. So we have watched that about 157 times this week alone.
And it's only Monday.
Yeah, he's making our entire family dress up like all the characters for Halloween. So I'll be Sally, he'll be Jack, my husband's sadly Oogie Boogie Man. And that's
I love that. You're like, I get it. This is Halloween. Stop. Okay. Daniel, how about you?
Oh wow. Of course I have a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old, so they still like trick-or-treating, but most of the time they now like to do what I like to do, which is just stay up all night on Halloween watching horror movies. Got to do it every year.
Yeah, Jess and I started it. We have this tradition we call Judge's Flannel Saturday or Sunday because we both travel so much that we're together and we hang out in sweats. She bought movie candy. I ate too many hot tamales and literally fried my tongue, which you can do, by the way.
Yes, you can.
Incredibly painful right now. My mind's off this.
Tamales.
But I think the one thing I love to do is it's weird because on October 30th we watch The Crow, and it's Devil's Night, and it's a top 10 movie for me, and a real reason why I went to make movies was coming out of The Crow and being like, that's what a movie can be. So even though you've seen my films YouTube and you know that I don't do anything like that, it's all rom-coms and sad movies, but either way, That's it. So this is the first Cinema Showdown. Thank you guys for jumping on, and we're going to find out very soon who won. Now let's go ahead and take a second to recap those picks. Nightmare on Emmy Street. Emmy's clever team name drafted Halloween, Poltergeist. Ooh, that one's scary. Aliens, The Sixth Sense. What a twist. The Devil's Reject, and Trick or Treat. Now the Haddonfield Shapes, that's Jim's team. They took Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream. We got to do a movie called Laugh. That'd be nice. Sorry, Scream, Jaws, The Exorcist 3, Amityville Horror, the remake, and The Omen. Now, the Bates Motel Marionettes, they took The Exorcist, Psycho, or the movie that makes you take a bath, Phantasm, Sleepaway Camp, Alien, and Night of the Creeps. While Daniel's team, the Lanwilly Wolves, took The Thing, Night of the Living Dead, Evil Dead 2, The Wolfman, Suspiria, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All right, so enjoy the rest of the show, and we're going to have the results for you at the very end.
Who's on first? The Let's Get To Local 9, brought to you by Zoomer Sport.
So we're excited to be joined again by the voice of the Bowling Green Hot Rods, Shawn Murnin, along with Elias. How's it going, man?
We're great. It's off-season mode, and Daddy Daycare is in its third day, and he's not doing well by himself. So we are. This is a joint interview now.
Well, I love it. You know, we got to add some gravitas to the show anyway. You get the host in a pumpkin suit. Hey, so a lot has happened since we last saw you guys, and you know, this episode's really dedicated to the amazing time we had. But let's talk about the championship, man. How was that? Just sitting in the booth and getting to call that?
That was crazy. I mean, that was one of the craziest things that I've seen. Obviously, it's a little bit different because you're not going through 3 or 4 rounds of postseason play.
Yeah.
And you know, you get the 5-game championship series, and it was really weird because, you know, the team had only lost 14 games at home during the regular season, and here you are, you split the road series, and then Greensboro comes back and wins the first game at home, which I guess shouldn't be a surprise because they did split the series in Bowling Green, and you know, during the regular season. And man, that team didn't have any quitting it this year, and you know, they went down 2-1, and you know, they had to go back to back. They had to win 2 straight, and you know, at the end of the season, I guess one of the things that I kept on saying was, you know, it's going to come down to the bullpen. It's going to come down to the bullpen. And it really did. In game 5, I didn't realize it was going to happen, but that was a bullpen game. Everybody that came in was a bullpen arm, and you know, Jose Lopez was great, and Zach Tragan at the end of the game was great. I mean, it's great because it proved me right, but at the same time, I mean, there were, you know, during that series, there were times where I'm going, I mean, this team hasn't had bullpen depth since, you know, 3/4 of the way through the season, and here they were, you know, as they like to say, shoving, and you know, maybe right down my throat, which is not a bad thing for me.
No, and let's be honest, if a Tampa Bay team is not winning using the bullpen, does it even count? I mean, it's so on brand. Talk a little bit about that real quick, though. Just top to bottom, what a minor league system and season Tampa Bay has had this year. I mean, you guys, Durham, I mean, everybody just winning.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, like you said, top to bottom. Durham ended up winning the regular season championship, and they ended up winning the final stretch. Montgomery got to the championship and lost in 5 games. We won our championship. Charleston won their championship. The FCL Rays, I believe. So J.J. Cooper has been tracking all that stuff, but I believe the FCL Rays, the Complex League Rays, had the best win percentage in like domestic baseball.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that tweet.
Their win percentage was like, yeah, it was like set. Yeah, and then of course I screwed it up. So then he made sure to correct me on that one, which was, I felt like an idiot on that. But yeah, I mean, it's so crazy to watch and know, you know, Charleston just won a championship, which means that the guys that are going to be coming to Bowling Green in 2022, a decent amount of them will have already had championship experience. Yeah. So, and I mean, you know, you look top to bottom and all the guys that are throughout the system, a lot of them, you know, played at Bowling Green Ballpark. So even the guys that are in the postseason now for the Rays, I mean, you know, for the DS game, so, you know, the starters for game 1 and game 2, were both on the hot rods in 2019. So it's I don't even know if I have a word to describe, everything that we're seeing, because it's, the 2019 and before hot rods are just working their way through the system and winning while they're doing it, which is cool.
It's reminiscent of what the Astros did before 417, and then what the Royals did, where you could see the championships coming because it was in their minor leagues. And now, of course, Tampa Bay is positioned to, make another deep run in the playoffs. I want to get to that final call, though. Like, at what point did you start to think about, all right, I'm about to cement something, or was it natural? I mean, were you starting to get amped up for it? Like, here it comes, or were you just did you just let it flow, your final championship call?
I mean, I listen back to it and I'm like, boy, I don't think that's very good, but I hate everything that I've done. There was one point so pregame, a lot of times in our club, which you were in, the people down there are awesome to me and to everybody in the press box. And so a lot of times when we're getting ready for the game, we can go down and order our food. I promise the story's going somewhere. And so, Tasha, who's, one of the, best, I mean, everybody down there is great, but Tasha always brings the food up to the broadcast booth because, I'm super high maintenance. And our catering company is Vet City Catering. And, pregame, I'm working on my scorebook and she brought my food up to me and I saw her polo and I was just like, geez, I really missed the boat on being able to call this place the Vet City. For some reason, I've never done it. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, Corvettes are made in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Yeah. And, there's a Corvette museum, which I think you guys visited. And I was just like, man, I've been here for 3 years and 2 seasons and I just missed the boat on that. Oh, well. And then I just went, I went about my business and it was game 5. So, we're the only broadcast crew there. So I'm like, regardless of what goes on tonight, I get to call a championship winning game. Like, this is really cool. I have a lot of friends that have been doing this a lot longer than I have that never got there. Of course, I have some friends like Emma out in Portland that has done it twice, one of which was a walk-off home run. She missed the postseason this year, but it was one of those things where I was just like, I'm not a rehearsed guy. I don't like to sit here and practice anything that I do. I like to get feedback from other people and then try and work on that as the game goes on. I don't script anything. I don't like to write. I don't have a consistent home run call. I think the only thing that I've consistently said over my career is when the team wins, I say put it in the left-hand column.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
So, the entire thing, that's probably the reason why I hate most of the stuff I do, because I don't expect anything. I just kind of say stuff. And it hasn't gotten me in trouble yet, which is good. But, I appreciate that you say that, though. I mean, it was a cool moment. I was really excited. And then, immediately as soon as it was over, I jumped up and, ran out of the broadcast booth and down to the field just so I could turn the mic over to our league supervisor. So,
yeah, I tell you what, it was fun. Jess and I watched it on the laptop. And again, had a great time out there. Now, before we let you go, we have some rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
You ready, buddy? I think so. I think we're good.
Mind clear. Okay. Hot dogs or brats?
Brats.
Superman or Batman?
Batman.
Strangest thing you've ever seen at a ballpark?
We had a drone delay in Quad Cities in 2019 with actually one of the guys that was on our team this year, Christopher Ogando, on the mound, who was absolutely crushing people. After he came back, I think we were up by a run. When we came back from the drone delay, once it finally left the stadium, like right on the Mississippi there, probably 3 to 5 pitches later, the guy at the plate hit a walk-off home run.
Wow.
That was pretty crazy, right? I also saw a cow in the stands in the stadium walking around with a bell on in Clinton, Iowa. That was weird too.
Okay. What's your favorite baseball uniform?
Ooh. I like this is it's kind of a mild cop-out answer, but the year after a team wins the World Series, when they incorporate the gold into the uniforms, I absolutely love that. I think back to when the Royals did it. That was amazing. Like, I love the look of those uniforms.
Particularly the Royals. When the Astros had it, looked weird. It didn't play right, but the Royals, that gold kind of just blended in nicely. Godfather 1 or 2?
I guess go with the original.
Okay. If you could own any team, what do you think? One or two, Elias? If you could own any team that's not your favorite team, what team would it be and why?
Ooh, the San Diego Padres. Right? We're going with big league teams, or we going minor league?
Anyone, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean the Padres. I love that ballpark. I love that, the location of it. I like the area out there and everything. I mean, we got to visit that during the winter meetings a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought that was electric. I love that place.
Star Wars or Jaws?
Star Wars.
Okay. When is the first time baseball broke your heart?
So growing up, I was a Yankees fan. And in 2004, when the Red Sox came back from 3-0, that was, that was a coming of age tale for me. That was not good.
So you don't watch Fever Pitch at all. You're like, Jimmy Fallon's the worst, and I don't ever want to see him.
Yeah, to this day, I'm still like I won't say anti-Red Sox, but I'm like, to this day, I'm still like, there's still that, like when you're a kid and you just dislike something, your core, like when you see it later, even if you don't mind it, there's still that inner feeling where you're just like, I don't understand why I feel like this. Exactly. Just like that.
Just like that. Just like the New York Mets for me, man.
Yeah.
And then last rapid fire question. What is your go-to Halloween candy?
The same as my go-to regular candy. Yeah. That's good. He's only 6 months old and he knows his dad so well. It's Reese's. It's Reese's peanut butter cups. Very good.
That's perfect. So, Shawn, as we let you go, I wanted to again thank you for the hospitality and let you know that one of the things that we do at this show is we give out the Let's Get To awards, and you're going to be our broadcaster of the year. So there will be there'll be a really cool plaque sent to you shortly after the season wraps up. So congratulations, man. You did a great job this season.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was great having you guys, obviously out of the I'm not just saying that because you guys, you just dumped that on me, but
yeah,
I really enjoyed having you guys out to the ballpark, and I can't wait to see this episode because I mean, honestly, like you guys, from the hot dog and the suit and everything, I mean, it was, you guys are welcome back to any ballpark I work at for the rest of eternity.
Well, I already told Jessica and I will be out there. We'll be back out next season. So I'll let you know when we're coming, and we can't wait.
Awesome.
Holler and a Swaller, a chug of Ballpark brew, presented by the Hitter Sports.
Welcome to this edition of Let's Get To's Holler and a Swaller, presented by the Hitter Sports. Make sure you follow the Hitter Sports on Twitter for all of your fun Yankee takes and all of your fun life takes. And I'm just really excited for the Hitter Sports, and we want to send them a special shout out. Now you might be wondering who I am. I'm Jamie, James's mother, and I don't think that my boy should be doing a segment that has anything to do with alcohol. Mother, what are you doing? This is my show. Whoa, what was that about? Where am I? Why am I wearing this? He's such a little psycho. All right, well, the show must go on. And yeah, we have a great segment of Holler and a Swaller for you. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. It must be the hot flashes. We do have a special edition of Holler and a Swaller, again, presented by the Hitter Sports. We had a chance during our special Halloween segment to get out to Kentucky to see the Bowling Green Hot Rods. And that meant getting to get some good old-fashioned Kentucky bourbon. And that meant hanging out at the Dueling Grounds Distillery. And you've got to check this place out if you're in the area. It was a lot of fun. The folks in charge, the guests, the hosts, they were amazing as far as really giving me more information. As someone who likes all kinds of whiskey, I didn't know a lot about the differences between bourbon and rye and all that stuff. So they really did do a good job of teaching us some stuff. And as a Texan, I learned that Sam Houston once shot a guy in the crotch near there. So anytime I can add a little bit to my Texas mystique, I'm sure excited to do it. So again, this is from Dueling Grounds Distillery, and this is their single barrel strength. So it's a little bit stronger than what most people are used to. I definitely was excited to pick it up, and I cannot wait to taste it again It's now been a few months since we've been there, and of course I've got ready to go my handy dandy Bowling Green Hot Rods tumbler. So happy Halloween and holler and a swaller, baby.
And now, on to close it out, the right-hander from Houston, Texas, James Christopher.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
I was born to wear this stuff. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Let's Get To, our special Halloween event. I know that it was kind of random, but I'm hoping that it at least puts you in the spirit for one of my favorite holidays on the calendar. That's right, puts you in the spirit for some spirits. But before we get out of here, we do have some business to attend to, and so now I'm excited, and without further ado, to reveal the winner of our first ever Cinema Showdown. And so, here we go.
Hey, Jim. I just wanted to take a second to thank you and Let's Get To and Screen Jocks for having me on the horror movie draft. It was so much fun. I had an absolute blast. Thanks to everyone on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere that took the time to vote for my team. And I also want to thank Jaysen and Daniel for being so much fun, for knowing way more shit than me about horror movies. I now have a dope list of movies to watch just for getting to hang out with you guys for 20 minutes. It was so much fun. Thanks again. Bye.
That's right. Congratulations to Nightmare on Emmy Street. She did a great job in the draft, and she really did get into the spirit of how it all works, and really, again, just embrace the competition side of it all. Now, before we go, usually I will end an episode with sort of a cute, like, make sure you get to a ball game, get you some peanuts, get you some Cracker Jacks, and, let's get to, that sort of thing. But this time, I'm leaving you some wisdom from Winston Zeddemore. If anyone ever asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
The foulest stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly ghouls from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no